Yo, what's going on? What's going on? Welcome to another episode of Empire Jeff TV. I am your host, Empire Jeff, coming to you on a Tuesday night from Los Angeles, California, man, where the Los Angeles Dodgers have let us down once again in a pretty devastating 6-5 loss to the San Diego Padres at Petco Park in San Diego, man. And this was a complete choke job, you know. Just they if you listen to the pregame I said you got to get on them in the top of the first, get up on them, and shut them down in the bottom of the first. Exactly what they did. Mookie hit the home run. They go up 1-0. Buehler comes in, shuts them down in the first. Everything's going well. He starts the bottom of the second, and instead of calling for time or saying that he has a problem with his device that he can't hear, he gets a pitch clock violation. And any little thing rattles a pitcher these days. And he goes out there and essentially walks Manny because of that, right? Then you have Profar come up, right? You This Dodger witchcraft, y'all. This Dodger witchcraft. The fact that our season is on the verge of being over because of two botched double plays by two good defenders, but two injured defenders, infielders, is frustrating as hell. Now, I don't know why a base runner is allowed to run on the infield grass and get in the way of a defender's throw. I don't know why that's allowed, first of all. And then you have Miggy, instead of just trying to turn the double play, tries to run to the base with a groin injury. He thinks he's going to outbeat someone with beating them to the bag, and then throws late. And then it all just is an avalanche from there. It just snowballs. Can't stop the bleeding after that. Teams rarely, if ever, come back from mental collapses like that. Pitchers typically fall apart after that. Now, this game is, excuse me, this game was not on Walker Buehler. I know he gave up the home run to Tatis, but the bleeding had already started. Just mess up after mess up after mess up in that inning. Took forever to get a first out. They come back the next inning and Teo gets the grand slam and we get hype again, like kind of think, okay, they're back in it, but then they manage to do nothing the rest of the game. Nothing. Neither did the Padres, but the Padres had the luxury of doing nothing because they were up 1 run. And I hate that I have to say this, and I'm shocked that I have to say this because I never thought I would say this, especially how he came into this postseason. But Shohei's been terrible for 2 games. And that happens in baseball. And I understand it. Mookie had a home run. Mookie had a single. Shohei did have a single. He hit one that I thought he was going to clear the yard with, but it stayed in and Merrill caught it. But outside of that single, Shohei's been bad for 2 games. We're not going to win that way. We're not going to win that way. I told you that the Dodgers are going to need to score when Buehler is pitching, Knack is pitching. If Miller was some way going to last the season, the Dodgers needed to score at least 6 runs. You guys have heard me say this. Excuse me, my voice is still like from the stadium. I told you the Dodgers were going to have to score at least 6 runs to win these games. They've scored 7 runs combined in the last 2 games. And one of them was on a grand slam. 4 of them, excuse me. Bullpen, lights out, dynamite, incredible. Dave Roberts has been managing his butt off in this series. All for nothing. Down 2-1. Now, they still have a chance in this series. They can win tomorrow, come back to LA. But typically in a series like this, the winner of game 3, I think it's like 75% of the time they win the series, which, doesn't necessarily mean it'll hold water in this series. But the Dodgers just continue to beat themselves in these moments. Peralta killed you again. Peralta. Arise is like having a horrible series. Cronenworth not doing really anything. Profar not really doing anything. Manny has not been great. You're just getting destroyed by Tatis Jr. Destroyed by him and Jackson Merrill. And our guys are not doing enough. And Shohei got to get it too. You got to get it too, Shohei. You can't take $700 million and have back-to-back terrible games in the playoffs. He had better come to play tomorrow. He had better deliver tomorrow because we need him. And Mookie got to keep doing what he did today. Freddie got a single today. He's hobbled at this point. I don't know if you can even play him. But Muncy, Smith, Lux, Miggy, that bottom of the lineup, second half of the lineup is killing us. It's absolutely killing us. We could have had Burns and Adames, but they wasted half a season with Mookie at shortstop. We could have had Class A and added an additional weapon to this bullpen and some of Cleveland pitchers. We could have had Tanner Scott early in the year. All these arms we could have had and a shortstop. And we just don't have the arms to compete again. To be clear and to be fair, I was for the Glasnow trade. I was for it. I was. I'm not going to duck that. That dude is good. And, you figured that the Dodgers were going to score enough runs. He wouldn't have to go. But, didn't make it. Didn't make it. They figured because he finished the season last year, he didn't finish it again this year. But again, the pitching wasn't the problem today. 2 botched double plays are going to be the killer of our season. And and when you come to think about it, the ones that typically that they blame everything on actually isn't the problem. Dodgers starting pitching, even though I don't blame this on Buehler today, has given up 21 runs in 3 games. 21 runs in 3 games. Bullpen, as far as their high leverage guys, have been lights out. They've been great. But if not for a home run by Mookie and a grand slam by Teo, they don't get anything in this game. There's nothing manufactured. And Ohtani has been ass for 2 games. And it's bound to happen. It's baseball. The best players in the world are going to have bad stretches. But it just sucks that it's once again happening now. And we need a godlike performance from him in these next 2 games. And he's more than capable. He's more than capable. Just could have used a little more from him today. So yeah, just frustrating loss, man. Because with the Dodgers, it's always something. It's always something. And it's they've got the talent, they've got the players, they've got the best player in the game, they've got 3 MVPs. But every year, something just happens. Arms don't last an entire season. Bats go cold. It's like you can set your watch to it. This team, the Padres, are not better than the Dodgers, man. They're not. Doesn't matter, though, because they're beating them. They're beating them. And it's just they were not they were not that great today. They weren't great at all today. This is probably their worst game of the series. And they still won. But we were worse than them. That second inning was such a disaster. Such a disaster. Like that's what little league teams that don't know what the hell they're doing do. That's what the White Sox do. Not a team with $1 billion payroll. So it's backs against the wall now. You know, they got to try to win tomorrow and win Friday, or it's another outing outing in the playoffs, early October, heading home, looking at the calendar to February when pitchers and catchers report, which has become routine for this Dodger team since 2021. And if we lose our 3rd straight playoffs in round 1 in a non-game 5 at home to a team in our own division, I don't care if there's blame to go around. Something has to happen. It's not working. And I understand it's Shohei's first year. I understand Shohei didn't pitch. But you got Teoscar as a free agent. You don't even know if he's coming back. Freddie's going to be a year older. You got to do something. You got to have someone pass the cleanup slot that you can depend on. When you look at this Padre lineup, it goes Arise, it goes Tatis, it goes Profar, it goes Manny, it goes Merrill, it goes Bogarts. Their 9th hitter is hitting bombs. Peralta's killing us. Muncy, Smith, Lux, and Miggy have been ass. Give Kike some run. He's been known to have playoff moments. Give the dude a try. Just go down swinging with the guys you've done it with before. Just do it. Just do it at this point. Just do it. Because what this team is doing now isn't working. The bottom of that lineup is not working. It's not getting you anything. And, you know, I'm typically a positive guy, right? But this team, like, soon as that second inning happened, I was like, oh, here we go. Teams don't come back from that. They just don't. Well, the Dodgers don't ever come back from that. Like when you have complete meltdowns like that, when an entire inning collapses like that, the baseball gods never reward you. Never. The simplest thing derails a baseball game. Look at Game 7 against the Astros. Cody Bellinger gets that error at first base. Lou Darvish falls completely apart. Happens all the time. Pitcher gets a bad ball strike call. There's an error. Something. And pitchers just fall apart. And then the inning falls apart. And that's what happened again today. And the series, like I said, it's not over. But this was a game they could have won. This is a game they should have won. And the Dodgers should be looking at winning this series tomorrow in San Diego. Instead, they're looking at fighting for their playoff lives just to get out of San Diego and get back to LA and hope that Yamamoto doesn't get lit up again by them. Your $325 million guy. You got to hope he's good enough in a game 5. So this is and we've seen teams be down 2-1 and come back. We have seen this. We saw the Dodgers come back 3-1 in 2020, but this is not the 2020 team. This isn't it. This isn't it. And we have the best player in baseball on our team, and we didn't have that in 2020. But the best player in baseball did nothing the last 2 games. He had a broken bat single today, so he did something. But what I'm saying is, like, it's come to a point where if Ohtani's not great, we can't win because of our starting pitching. And today, because of our defense, which typically really isn't a problem for us. But it definitely was today. And it was back-to-back plays, and they just kept mounting. They could not get the first out, and then Tatis gets that home run, and it's a wrap. Never made it all the way back. Incredible grand slam by Teo. The Dodgers did a good job of getting guys on base. For Teo to hit that grand slam, but it pretty much, I think, until Freddie got that hit in the top of the 8th, they had nothing since the 3rd inning. Nothing. And I know baseball's hard, and I know several teams have had that same kind of stretch. I understand it. But this is every single year. Every single year, man. But I got no choice, right? It's not like I'm not gonna watch him. I'm not like I'm gonna be right there rooting for him. It's not like I'm gonna be cheering for him to win, right? Because I am. But it just sucks to have this constantly happen. And from your own doing, self-inflicted losses, those hurt. And if they hurt us, imagine how they feel, right? This was a game they could have had this. They definitely could have had this. You get that double play right there. You get at that inning. It's 1-0. Walker's feeling good about himself. I don't know what that leads to if Teo still gets that grand slam, but you're in a much better space there. You're in a much better space. Walker Buehler pitched good enough to win this game today, and his teammates let him down. And I know Freddie's hurt. I know Miggy's hurt. I know it. But if you're telling your team you're good enough to be out there, you're not good enough to be out there if you can't make those plays. If you can't get up to throw a baseball, you're not okay to be out there. What do we have you out there for one single? You know, if Kike is at first, maybe he's able to field that. Or if Muncy's at first, maybe he doesn't have to, maybe he can get up and make that throw. I don't understand how a base runner is allowed to run within the infield grass instead of running. They're supposed to run outside, not inside. And how they can just get in the way of the baseball. I don't understand how that's allowed. Just makes no sense. Like starting Miggy and Freddie should never have happened. If you had Edman or Taylor at short, that play doesn't happen. Well, the Miggy one. The Freddie one probably still happens if Freddie's at first. He couldn't get up to throw the ball. At that point, man, just go to first. If you know you can't get up, go to first. Get the for sure out. Freddie is way too smart of a baseball player for that. But because he's hindered, I don't know, it's not his fault that he's hurt. But what I'm saying is you try to overcompensate. And when you do that, it puts yourself in position to make mistakes, right? So, man, appreciate y'all tuning in, man. This is a somber episode right now. Like, it's frustrating. The team we love just seems to break our hearts when we need them not to the most. And they can have great season after great season after great season, but it comes to this point of the year. And if we go out for the third year in a row in the first round, like I said, to another NL West foe, and we don't even get game 5 in our own stadium again, then I don't know. I'm not a fire Dave Roberts guy. I never have been. But something is wrong. And if it's because we're hurt, which I understand, why are we always hurt? Why do our pitchers never make it to the end? You spend all this money on Yamamoto. You give up guys to get Glass now and extend him. The Pepio's not a better pitcher than Glass now, but he was available to pitch. You know what I mean? So, and again, I was for that deal. So I can't sit here and act like I wasn't. I'm not about to do that. But it's frustrating. And Ohtani had such a great year offensively that you have to think, like, do you want him pitching again? So when you signed him, you thought you were getting the two-way player, but he was so lethal this year at the plate. But I don't know. I mean, if he has another game like today, tomorrow, that's 3 or 4 games in the playoffs where he just sucked, then maybe his arm would have been more valuable in these playoffs than his bat, if that's what we were going to get. Shohei is the greatest player I've ever seen. The last 2 games, he hasn't been. He hasn't been. And it's also not his fault that if he's not great, the Dodgers don't win. That's not his fault. Like, Mookie even woke up today. And that's what I was telling people. I was telling people after game 2. But Mookie can go 4 for 4. It wouldn't have saved the game 2. And people were arguing with me. Like, well, if that home run would have went, it would have changed the dynamics of the game. Guess what? Today's did. It was the same freaking play. Same exact. It was cookie cut. The same play, except this time it was the home run. And what happened? The wheels still fell off, like I told you. If Mookie would have went 5 for 5 on Sunday, it would not have made a difference. He had 2 hits today. They lost. They still fell apart. So what I'm saying is still true. If the Dodgers can't score 6 runs, they're not going to win. They scored 7 in game 1. They won. They scored 2 in game 2. They lost. They scored 5 in game 3. They lost. They don't have the starting arms to hold these guys at bay. Not when you give them free outs and not when you make mistakes. And then you got the pen who went out there and did everything they could to keep that game at bay. And now you got a bullpen game probably tomorrow. This is the one you had to get. And this is where you gotta protect the guy from himself. If a guy can't move, he can't cover first base. If a guy can't go north, south, only right, left because of his groin, he can't play shortstop. Don't listen to them. They're not going to ask out. They don't want to look like that. You got to take it from them. You got to tell them, no, we're keeping you out. Edmund should have been at short. Munchie should have been at first. And if they are, we probably win this game. But it's hard. It's tough. It's tough telling these guys. You took them both out of the game anyways at some point, right? You took Miggy out after he hurt you. He went out rather early. So it is a like I said, you can't even blame this on Roberts. You can't even blame this on Roberts. This is 100% the players. 100%. Roberts has had a decent series, a good series. He threw the analytic book out the window today, and it worked. The problem is his shortstop and his first baseman couldn't make plays, and his superstar couldn't make hits, couldn't get hits. And that's the story of the game. That's the story of the series outside of game one. And now we gotta hope. We gotta hope that they can get it done tomorrow, man. Gotta hope they can get it done tomorrow. And I'm hoping to see different guys on the field tomorrow. Like, sorry, Freddie, you're out. You're out. Maybe you play game 5 Friday, but you're out. You're out. Miggy, you're out. You're out. You're out to the next round. You're out. You're out of there. You're not giving us anything at the plate. You cost us defensively, which is what you're known for. And Miggy's had a great year. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to come off ungrateful, but this is the time of the year where you can't afford that. You can't afford it. You can't afford to lose games because you don't want to hurt some guy's feelings, right? No. Like, you traded for Edman. He could play that. Get him in there. I don't love Pages in center field. I like his bat, but I don't like him in center field, but I'll take it. I'll take it because he's young enough and dumb enough to have an impact and not be scared or caught up in the moment. He hasn't been part of these collapses. He doesn't know any better. Put him in there. Put him in center. Put Edman at short. Put Muncy at first or Kike at first, vice versa. Either one of those first and third. That's what you got to go out with tomorrow. If you did that today, you probably win this game. I understand hindsight is 2020. I understand that. But you probably win this game if you did that today. But it's I just cannot believe that our season, this is what's driving me nuts, man. This is gonna haunt my dreams, y'all. I can't believe that our season is on the verge of being over because of 2 botched double plays, because our first baseman couldn't stand up and our shortstop couldn't make it to the bag, and neither one of them threw the damn ball. I can't believe that this is how our season is going down to the wire. Now, we've been here before. 2020, we were down 3-1 to Atlanta. All was lost. Pretty much felt it was done. A lot of people were giving up. And then magic happened, right? Now, all we can do is hope for that same magic, but we haven't really seen a lot of magic since 2020. We really haven't. We've seen some magic in the regular season, but we really haven't seen magic in the postseason. And as I see you, Joe, like you said, it's always something. It is always something. It's always something that just gets us. And maybe, I know a lot of people seem to believe a change of voice, a change of culture, a change of whatever, but only thing I care about changing is the results. Shout out to Joe Soro. You were in the results business. So it's brutal. It's brutal, man. I'm not even gonna lie. I didn't even want to do this show tonight. Like, my energy just, but I didn't want, I can't duck a loss, right? If I'm home. If I'm not home, I can't always do the show. But I was here and I was like, gotta show up, man. Gotta show up, man. But I definitely didn't feel like I definitely didn't feel like I wanted to go take Lucky for like a 3-mile walk. And I still might. It's early enough. I still might. It's these losses are hard enough when you're just watching them as a fan, but as a content creator and having to come up after these things, these are brutal, right? So it's went through all that last year with the Lakers. This is my first go around with the Dodgers. And I feel like, it drained me doing it for the Laker coverage, right? Sometimes being up here till like 11 midnight doing post game and stuff like that, getting up at 5:30 in the morning, going to work, going to lead a team and trying to be all full of energy so they don't pick up on your low energy, right? And be a leader and show up and I'm half dead and going through a whole season and it's like you can't even enjoy it because your team, all your streams and shows are about just how they messed up and how they lost. But the Dodgers are supposed to be the salvation for that, man. And man, they're letting your boy down right now. They're letting me down right now. But they may just have to do the things that they maybe don't want to do. And I feel like if you were gonna fire Roberts, it should have happened in like 2019 or 22. I don't feel 21 was his fault, and I don't feel 23 was his fault, and I don't believe this year is his fault. 22, he drove me nuts. I definitely felt like 20, and 2018 in that World Series, I was lit too. 2018, 2019, 21, I didn't blame him. 22, I was very heated with him. But I've honestly felt that he's had his last 2 years were good. Like I do feel that, and I feel that he's had a good series here. But maybe it's not enough. But from everything that Friedman has said, that he's gone on record about, I feel that I don't feel they're going to do it. Like I don't feel they're going to do it. If you saw Friedman's interview before this series, and they flat out said if they lose this series, Friedman all but said that they wouldn't fire him. Now, I mean, it's not like he can come out and say if he doesn't win a series, he's out of there. You don't say that either, right? So we'll just have to wait and see. At this point, I don't care. I've never really cared. I've just taken the stance that I've seen so many times where they just go get someone else. The Padres did this like 4 times. The Giants will keep doing like so many teams just keep doing that. They just keep swapping out the managers. It doesn't lead to anything. So it is I don't know if that's the answer, because if the bats just continue to go silent and the arms just continue to go dead, and if the front office decides to not move the top prospects to go get these guys, look what the Padres did. Give up all their top guys. They went all in. They spent money and sent out all their top guys in their farm system, right? And they're not the Dodgers. They're not a quote unquote big market team, but they're out there with cojones, man. They're doing it. I actually respect what the Padres are doing from a business perspective, how they're aggressive in what they're doing. They're not trying to be where it's like, look, we want to win now and later. They'll go all in and figure the rest out later. The Dodgers typically don't do that. They want to have one of the top farm systems in baseball. They want to have a bunch of what ifs down there that they may never come up, or they have no room to play them, because you go get these star players. You move someone like a Michael Bush, Sweeney, and these guys who you could have used this year. You could have used them. But because you had no place for them, you move them, right? And they rarely sign their own guys once they come up for free agency. They barely keep any of those guys. Seager gone, Bellinger gone. Beeler was probably always going to be gone, even if he came back healthy. Like they get their guys, they run them through arbitration, and then they send them on their way. So if you're going to do that and you want them under control, and then you can go get your star players on free agency and then use your farm system for under control, that's great if you continuously win like that. That's great if you were the St. Louis Cardinals, who were like who were like in competition every year and were winning, right? It's good if you're a team that could continually turn those prospects onto your team or flip them the pieces you're going to use, but to hold on to them till they're no longer valuable just doesn't make sense after a point anymore. And you can sit out here, look, in baseball, you cannot buy a championship. You can buy Hall of Fame players, but it does not mean it's going to be a championship. It has to mesh and it has to work. And the guys have to play like superstars when the playoffs come around, because if they don't, it's all for naught. And again, I will say that Shohei's the best player I've ever seen. And for him to have 2 back-to-back games like this, knowing we can't win unless he's great. I mean, that's just not ideal, right? It's just not ideal. So if you're going to just say, okay, let's get rid of Roberts and think that's going to fix the problem, you're going to have to make some changes to the roster too. Because it's not just Roberts. It's not. I understand that. I know there's a lot of built up frustration with him over a handful of years. So people have been wanting that for a while. But if Roberts just drove away in a car and said, I'm not coming back, it's not going to change anything. It's not going to change anything. But Shohei, I still believe that Shohei and Mookie can carry us to 2 wins. Like, I believe they're capable of it. But what I believe and what the Dodgers actually do are rarely aligned. It's like we believe in what they can do more than they do when they're out there. I was happy to see Mookie kind of get going. He'd been putting the bat on the ball. He'd been getting some hard outs. He had some walks. He had a home run taken away from him. He almost had a 3rd hit today. Bogarts made a solid play. I feel like Mookie's coming around right when Shohei's falling off. And it's like we need to have when they're both on at the same time. But that 5, 6, 7 spot, ass. It's been bad. And they need to address that. And I know that they saw a lot of potential in Lux earlier in his career. And I know he got hurt and they're waiting for him to come back for that. I understand that. But you got to break that up. Smith got his money. He's been terrible ever since. Muncy just gets you home runs and that's it. And Will Smith, who kind of flipped it on us this year, where he actually became one of the best defensive as far as throwing out guys in baseball, which he was never great at. But his bat has sacrificed tremendously. Smith was always like a clutch guy. He wasn't a 40 home run guy, but he was a guy that could, hit pretty good for average, some clutch doubles, clutch singles. He'd get a home run from time to time, and he'd be solid at the plate. You could trust him. He was our cleanup guy for a while. He's just not that same guy anymore. He's just not that same guy anymore. And Teo's going to have massive moments, but he's going to also strike out a lot. Shohei is going to strike out a lot. Freddie doesn't hit enough bombs. He's a very good hitter. He can spray the field. He can put the ball in a lot of places and get a lot of doubles. But when you look at that Padre lineup and just nothing but contact, guys that just do not strike out. So when you get in those situations, you heard him talk about it multiple times on the broadcast. When you got 2 on and no out, you're going to give up a run because they're not just going to strike out and fly out. They're going to get contact and guys are going to move. So most teams, how many times do you see bases loaded, no outs, and teams get out of it because guys swing for the fence? They want the grand slam. The Padres aren't necessarily always swinging for the fences. They're trying to put the bat on the baseball, create contact, create movement. And, I had said earlier that I'd prefer the Dodgers just came out and ambushed, right? And I still wish that was kind of mixed into their approach. But then you had, I believe it was the second inning where they just like got out of there. It was like 7 pitches and they were out of there. There's ambushing, and then there's just swinging it for every pitch and then just ground it out, right? You ambush when you get the pitch you like, that you feel you can punish. Don't just swing to swing. There has to be a strategy with the ambushing. If it's the first pitch and you like that pitch, you go. Don't wait to see if you get it again. And I understand that a lot of times, sometimes they don't know if it's going to be the pitch right away. And sometimes they're wrong. If they're guessing, the data pretty much tells you a lot what that guy's going to throw his first pitch. These guys are pretty much creatures of habit. And they same thing with the hitters. They know which guys, like Corey Seager, the guys know that guy's going up there swinging first pitch swinging. Arise barely ever swings first pitch, if ever. You know you got a free strike there. But here we are again, depending on what happens with the Yankee game and depending on what happens with the Detroit game and Cleveland, here we are again with all the teams that had the wild card round off fighting for their lives. And I don't know if there really is a thing to it other than the fact that it just keeps happening. I get if it's just a Dodger thing and the Dodgers just can't continuously get out of the first round. But every single year, how does it happen? The team who doesn't play in the wild card round can't survive the wild card winners. How does this happen every year? And I know it's baseball. I know that can happen in baseball, but it's never all of them like it has been the last handful of years. It's usually one team. But the last few years, it's been all of them. And maybe there's something to it. Maybe it's just a coincidence. I don't know. I don't know. But it is it's possible that there's something to it. But the league makes way too much money in it, and there's way too much excitement in it. So I highly doubt any of it's going to change, man. I highly doubt. But I appreciate y'all for tuning in, man. I see all you guys in here. I'm not going to get to all your comments today. I typically do. Miguel, I see you, man. One Peruvian guy, I see you. Chris, the graphic guy, what's up, brother? I see you. Shondo, see you. Dante, what's going on, man? Aromatic, I see you, man. Appreciate you. Like I said, Dante. Let me shout out everyone. Craig, what's going on, man? Bloodhound, what's going on, man? Karam, what's going on? See if I missed anybody here. Bloodhound, what's going on, man? Joe, as I said, what's going on? Daniel Berry Sports Highlights, what's going on, man? Try to catch up. I think I got everybody here. Internet is my home. Said chicks dig the infield single. Okay, that's funny. Lakers Dodgers for life. What's going on, my guy? Let's see. Let's see if I missed him. Eric, what's going on, Eric? The Outlaw, what's going on, man? Yeah, I hear you. Needs to stop, man. Man. Those Dodgers World Series chants, man. What's going on, man? He said, "Why did I become a Dodgers fan?" I mean, I no matter how much they continue to kill us, like I ain't going nowhere, right? I ain't going nowhere. Bridges, what's up, man? I see you. I think I got to everybody. Let's see. There we go. Joe Swish, what's going on, man? But man, this one was one of the most frustrating Dodgers losses ever. That second inning was a complete collapse. Like I said, those two botched double plays are gonna live in my mind like there was no tomorrow. To be honest with you, that hurt more than the triple play. That hurt more than because I knew immediately when I saw it that it was a wrap. I knew it. I've seen that too many times. I've seen it too many times where the sky falls after I played like that. I've seen it too many times. And the second I saw that, I said a few four-letter words, and I'm like, "We're that's it. This game's done." And Teo hitting that grand slam, but not tying it and not taking the lead in that inning, and just never had another chance. And as soon as I got to the top of the eighth, and you had Shohei, Mookie, Freddie coming up, we knew that was going to be their last shot. They didn't capitalize on it, and cost them the game for sure. So it was definitely frustrating, man. But maybe they go ahead and surprise us. Maybe they surprise us. But and maybe they surprise the Padres. But I feel like they had the playbook to do it today. I felt like, if they just fielded those plays, they probably would have today. But they just didn't. And they couldn't. And it all just fell apart, man. So We'll have to wait and see what happens tomorrow. And then what happens Friday, whether it's a game at Dodger Stadium or when it's Friedman's press conference, and see if Robert survives it, what players come back. One way or another, we'll know what Friday's going to be tomorrow. It's either going to be the game 5 or it's going to be season-ending press conference. And we'll find out tomorrow, whichever that is. We'll find out tomorrow. So appreciate you guys tuning in, man. Sorry I didn't get to all the chats today, man. Just ugh. What a disappointment today. Real disappointment today. But I appreciate you guys tuning in. This is the team I love, is the laughing stock. Man. You know what? I'm extremely disappointed tonight. I'm extremely disappointed in what happened in that second inning. But I'm gonna be right here tomorrow. I'm gonna do my pregame. I'm gonna watch the entire game and then show up post-game, no matter what happens. And that's all I can do. You know what I mean? I got no control over anything else. There's gonna be a lot of trash talking. There's gonna be a lot of jokes made at our expense, and it just comes with the territory. It comes with the territory. You want to shut people up, you got to beat them. You got to beat them. You don't beat them, comes with the trash talk. So Denver Nugget fans and Padre fans, if you're an LA fan, we have no way of shutting them up until we beat them. Unfortunately, as much as fun as it'd be to go back and forth and try to have a leg to stand on, when you lose, you just got to take it. Not much you can do about it because you lost. Nothing you can really say. There's no point in taking it personal and start talking about them crazy in some type of other way. So you just got to take it. You just got to take it and wait, and hopefully that they get them back, and hopefully the Dodgers, with their backs against the wall tomorrow, come out and get that win. Hopefully they do. If they don't, then I understand Padre fans are getting personal, and that's on them. That's not something I'm going to do. I'm not here for that. I'm not here for that. I've got my phone is going. My inbox, my mentions, I'm getting trolled like crazy right now. But these guys in these mentions and these DMs, they better hope they win tomorrow. They better hope, y'all better hope y'all win tomorrow. Because if y'all blow this series, best believe I'm coming back on all you guys, man. Believe it. I can't do nothing right now because you beat us. I can't do nothing right now. But if y'all fumble this, I swear for God, man, I'm coming for all of y'all. I am coming for all of y'all, man. And when I got a leg to stand on, oh man, don't give me that. Don't give me that. But right now you got the leg to stand on, so I gotta take it. It's the way the game goes, man. It's the way the game goes. If I dish it, I got to take it. Those are the rules, man. Those are the rules. But I could take it. Let's see some of these guys again, because Jeffrey, I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Hey, thank you, Joe. I appreciate you. Yeah, frustrated, man. I'm frustrated, but it's sports. I mean, sports comes with ups and downs. You're going to lose more than you win. This comes with the territory. We love our teams. It hurts, right? I never really get too high, never really get too low. And it's not like I'm going to go and cry in the car or something, right? I'm frustrated. But when I get off this, go with my beautiful wife, you know what I mean? Play with the pup, play with Lucky. As soon as I turn off the recording, go back to the regular life, right? Which is still great. I'm still blessed. So my team has frustrated me. My sports teams are not winning, and I'm frustrating in that realm, but I'm still very much winning at life. So I never, ever lose sight of that, ever. Even as passionate as I am about my teams, I never lose sight of the blessings I have in my actual life that I actually control. You know what I mean? So outside of that, and I think that's important for everyone else to do. I've always kind of come on and tried to lift up people after, stuff like this. I typically, during rough stretches during the season, I try to keep everyone at bay. Tonight's probably not my best night at being the example of that, but it was important for me to still show up. I'm not up here screaming, going crazy, breaking things, or nothing like that, right? Just frustrated with my team. But outside of that, I'm still going to show up. I'm still going to try to have a positive attitude going into tomorrow's game. I just knew this game was over in the second inning. And so my mindset kind of stayed in that. And I was just kind of never really accepted the fact that they were going to win. Pretty much everyone that I was talking to throughout the game, I was pretty much telling him, like, it's over. It's done. Like, they're not coming back from this. The baseball gods would never allow rewarding you for what you did in that second inning. And so, but I'll control, I'll delete it. I'll be full-fledged ready to enjoy the game tomorrow, like it's like they're up 2-1. And like I said, I'm typically the happy-go-lucky guy. Typically the glass half full guy, Today is frustrating though. Today's frustrating, but I'm gonna go act like this didn't happen now, and I'm gonna go be a husband, right, and a dog dad, and I'm gonna go take my mind off this. I am gonna go try to put this off till tomorrow, man. So appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for always rocking with me, showing support even after a loss. Thank you for making me the stream of choice after, whether it's a win or a loss, and spending your time with me, helping me get through this. Like I try to help you guys get through it. We in this together. We love our Dodgers. We love our Lakers. We love our teams, and we got a good community, man. And I appreciate you guys. And as frustrated as we all are, try to look on the bright side. They gave us 6 months of something to do and be excited about, and hopefully they give us a few more weeks, but it all starts with tomorrow. So I'm gonna get off this thing. I'm gonna act like baseball doesn't exist for about 18 hours or so, and I'll catch you guys as long as I make it home in time from work. I think I will. Then I got you guys on a pregame, and then obviously like the post game, and hopefully tomorrow's post game will be a lot better than tonight's post game as far as from a results standpoint of what the team did. So thank you guys for tuning in tonight. Y'all could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with me. I appreciate that. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your night. Enjoy your Wednesday. And as I always say, go Dodgers, go Lakers. Let's try to get this win tomorrow and let the chips fall where they may, man. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Y'all stay safe. I'm out of here, man.